Start questions with Paul to coach's left.
Coach, other than obviously that kind of game-changing 20-2 run in the first half, I know y'all saw it on film, but just how big of an issue was Arkansas's length today on both ends of the court?
Yeah, you can talk to your blue in the face about facing a team like that, but until you get on the court and get a feel for it, it's like walking out in the cold. I've said that before. You got to adjust to it quickly or not. And obviously, we knew their length and their athleticism and the quality of players that they have, and it was hard to overcome. It was hard to overcome.
We'll stay in the front row in the middle with Sam.
What do you think's just been the biggest issue for the team defensively? Not even just today, but kind of this whole season right now.
Yeah, I would say off the top of my head, and it sounds trite and boring, but just point of attack defense. We're just not doing a good enough job on a consistent basis with just old-fashioned guard the basketball. Too many times the offense is getting where they want to go. They're getting us in rotation where this defense is built to not be in rotation, and just not providing as much resistance that's needed to just keep the offense from where they're trying to get. We talk about paint touches offensively all the time, but certainly on the other end, we're trying to limit those if at all possible, because everybody that understands and follows the game knows that if you get that ball in the heart of the defense, you can have all the rotations you want and schemes, but it just breaks the defense down and gives the offense plenty more options than they would have if you could figure out a way to guard the ball square and keep it in front of you at all times.
We'll go second row to coach's left to Colin, and then we'll slide over to Brian next to him.
Achor talked a little bit about struggles with turning defense into offense or getting those stops to turn it into offense, but you also had some moments where you get some steals or there's a fast break opportunity and guys are moving at different speeds or they're not on the same page. What kind of goes into that, and how does that still happen at this point in the season where guys have been playing together for a while?
Yeah, it's a good question. There were a couple, 2 or 3, I thought, situations where we had an opportunity to get a run out. We had an advantage situation from a long rebound or one of their 7. They didn't have many turnovers that they had, and we either made a poor decision with the ball and they got tipped, thrown it, to a teammate, or we just, dribbled, didn't explore it enough, didn't give the advantage a chance for it to result in a basket or a foul. And I don't think we had, 5 or 6 of them. I thought we had 2 or 3 opportunities, where we could try to score in transition. And normally, like you said, that's what we would do. But for whatever reason, we didn't do that this morning.
Jamar said that he thought in practice this team is executing the way you want. He said that you made a comment this may be the best practice team in the country. Where's the disconnect then, in your opinion, from what you're seeing on the practice floor to what you're seeing in the games?
Yeah, I'd have to see a print or an audio of me saying that we were the best practice team in the country. I've said we were a good practice team relative to maybe some of our productivity on game day, which was all that matters. Trust me, when I say that they had a good week or we're a good practice team, certainly every coach wants that. But what they want more is how we compete and how we produce on game day. That's all that matters. But at the same time, I don't want to say, hey, let's have poor practices. Maybe that will change, how we play on game day. And I told Neil before the game, and I told our team, certainly always want more, but we had a good week, and they matched the mood and the tenor that I tried to create every day. Monday was an old school practice. Tuesday was a non-contact, but we got a lot of work done in condition. They're off on Wednesday, and then Thursday and Friday we went back to kind of routine of 2-day prep for a game in February in the SEC, and the intensity was good, the enthusiasm was good, the quality of practice was good, and I felt really good. I felt really good going into the game, and there hasn't been a game all year long where I didn't feel like walking out of that tunnel that we weren't going to win. That my confidence level was high, that we had prepared and our kids were ready. And, we knew we were going to have to play really well. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, we knew we were going to have to play well. If they played well, if they played, had a stinker, then, who knows. But that certainly wasn't the case today. But I thought the end of the first half, when you see a 20-point game, like, oh, it was a 20-point game. Yeah, but games change. And I thought at the end of the first half, we had got down double digits and we fought back a little bit and kind of got the game in a manageable area. And then we went down 5 before halftime, and I thought that was a big deal.
We'll go back to Sam, front row middle.
It seems like Arkansas had some success finding that backdoor lob kind of consistently. What were you just seeing in that aspect as the game was unfolding?
Yeah, in the first half, we showed 2 or 3 clips at halftime of what you're talking about. And, they're one of the best dunking teams in America in terms of dunks per game. We just, when there's a drive, right, it goes back to guarding the ball. Right? So there's a drive on the right side of the court as you're looking at the basket. And so obviously when there's a cut drive, the next defender, the mid, right, the helper has got to help. So that exposes someone around the basket usually. If they're not in 5 out, which they're not in 5 out very often, they usually have their big hanging around the basket to take advantage of their man helping. And then when that happens, if the weak side guard isn't in a crack situation and getting his body inside the dunker, then that's what happens. And we were spread out on the weak side. We were, some of it was because who they were guarding. That they were guarding shooters over there, and so instead of kind of getting more to where they needed to be on the weak side, they continued to play strong side defense. And then when that help happened away from them, we just couldn't get inside of them and get our bodies inside the crack guys. And then we played a lot of junk defense today, more than I've ever played probably in one game in my entire life that I can remember. Just trying to get them out of rhythm, trying to, get some guys to shoot shots where they're so open they feel obligated to almost shoot it. And we got some of those shots and we rebounded them. But then they started doing a better job and cutting, people into the lane and breaking that defense down. And then they got some dunks and passes, behind the defense that way too.
Anything else? All right, we'll go back to Sam.
I was just going to say, when you say junk defenses, do you mean like different zone defenses and mixing and matching things, or what does that mean?
It means like a box and 1, where 4 guys play zone and 1 guy's face guarding someone, or a triangle and 2, where you got 3 guys in a triangle zone and 2 guys are playing man. And then we have another. We use colors sometimes and to describe them, but we'll look like a 2-3 zone. Then after a few passes or me saying something, they'll go into man. So we're trying to, junk it up, if you will. It's not something you see very often anymore, and sometimes it confuses the other team. And a lot of times in this day and age, the other players don't even know, what they're in, because it's just a rarity in this day and age. It didn't used to be, but it is now. The coaches certainly, the opposing coaches have seen that. So when we talk about junking the game up, that's what we're referring to.
Go second row right.
Yeah, just with your guys' struggles in conference play and your tournament hopes slipping away, I mean, just how do you keep these guys going right now?
Yeah, that's a good question. We've got to find a way to keep our practices at the level that's required. We've got to instill confidence in them, which is something that we're trying to do, every single day. We've played better, right? We played better in some of the wins that we've had in our league at home or even on the road, and we've just got to keep them together. We got to keep fighting, keep scratching, keep clawing, and I'm confident that we will. I don't feel like this team will be led astray that way, or won't come to work and won't work on their individual games and our team improving and trying to get ready to beat, obviously, another good basketball team in Tennessee.
All right, we'll see you guys Monday.
Thank you.